Hey everybody, John Pollock alongside Jimmy Corderas coming out of the WWE's Fastlane card Sunday night in Memphis, Tennessee. This show, Jimmy, it really came down to, I think, how you took in the final two matches. They were the big two matches going in. And this show was essentially putting the pieces in place for WrestleMania. And I think that just from the television and what came out of Fastlane, you can piece together the top 6 or so matches for WrestleMania. You kind of know where the direction is for all the key performers, with the exception maybe of Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, he's the big question mark right now, but you're right, John. This is the bridge free preview, as you coined it last week, going between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. This is the one that's going to set all the stories and tell everybody where we're going, who's going to be the matchups and everything. And I thought they did a good job of doing that because the business model that you talked about before, about being on the network now, all these pay-per-views, this felt more like a Saturday Night's Main Event, like back in the day when Saturday Night's Main Event used to set up all the major pay-per-views.
Shoot your key angles, get all your matches in place.
Exactly.
The main event, I was very happy with the main event. I thought it was the best singles match we've seen Roman Reigns involved in. I like that they really broke from your traditional model of your big main event match. They worked in a lot of submissions, even a liver kick, which I give credit that JBL explained that story to people of what a liver kick is doing to this guy and him selling it as well. Kind of just breaking from your traditional model. Roman Reigns gets the win. Were you a fan of how the match was structured? And ultimately Roman Reigns appears to be a singles match for WrestleMania.
Yes, I did enjoy the match very much, and I thought Roman Reigns showed a lot of range as well as Daniel Bryan. You know, Daniel Bryan during the match, little cocky, smirking, like I'm a better wrestler than you. And Roman Reigns impressed me not just with his performance in the match, but with his selling during the match, because that's going to be an important element when he goes on to WrestleMania to face someone like Brock Lesnar. He's going to have to sell against the Beast, and he proved, I think, last night that he can do it.
We also look ahead. Rusev and John Cena finishes basically the disputed finish behind the referee's back. I know it's something that's got to drive you insane here. The referee conveniently just distracted.
Can't see everything.
With an attractive woman. But this program looks to continue probably John Cena's WrestleMania match. And I thought, you know, for a 20-minute singles match with Rusev, the crowd who were not particularly into this show really came into things for those last two matches.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot for Rusev to see that the crowd was definitely booing him. He's an old school type heel, and going into the finish, that was a very old school type finish for the match. And I think it works in today's day and age because it doesn't happen anymore. It's like what's old is new again.
Also, I wanted to talk about Stardust and Goldust. We've seen many times in the past where, you know, everyone points to Bret and Owen as the gold standard. Brother versus brother. What a great idea. But there are way more examples of these kinds of feuds that don't connect with the audience. The Hardys come to mind. There are many examples of them. And I thought that was the crowd. You didn't give them enough reason to be behind Goldust. I think it was rushed to this match. It was a very flat response. And I don't know how much juice you do get coming out of this. And there is a great story to be told here. We'll wait to see how it happens. But at least the Sunday night match, to me, it didn't click at any level.
And I think a lot of it has to do with, like you said, it being rushed. And you have another situation going on. You have Miz and Mizdow kind of in the same situation. And that one is progressing and taking its time and developing. And I think that's part of the reason why that one is working and Goldust and Stardust is not. People are, you know, really behind Damien Sandow right now.
Final thing, Randy Orton also made his long-awaited return. Hasn't been in action since November, making the return. Not even in street clothes. This guy already in those Randy Orton tights, trunks. The Rollins match seems to be the obvious direction for WrestleMania for Orton.
I think so. I think Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. He's the one who took him out with that huge curb stomp. The big question, like you said, we talked about off the top, where does Daniel Bryan go at WrestleMania? Is it the much talked about Sheamus return match?
Third time is a lucky charm, Jimmy Corderas at WrestleMania for those two. For Jimmy Corderas, I'm John Pollock. The next one, it's the big one, WrestleMania 31, Sunday, March the 29th. Keep it updated at liveaudiowrestling.com and tune in Sunday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern on TSN Radio.